you have two neutral vectors when you're trying to do it that way. You've created a second triad, just like if you attach a light bulb to it, or those sorts of things. Then you've got a triad of the positive, negative, like in an LED, being the neutral vector, yeah,
Mhm.
and then you get light, right, and then light goes out into the atmosphere, hits an object, and it's neutral, like the wall, for example, or a chalkboard. You see, it becomes negative to it, yeah, and it becomes heat. And so you have this triad upon triad upon triad upon triad, and you see it just keeps going, just keeps going. Yeah,
Right.
heat is vibration, isn't it? Right. And so you've got vinegar and water, copper and zinc, and a light bulb, right? And you can
Yep.
see, you can count 7 triads out about how it manifests and changes. Yeah, let's talk about the neutral vector for a minute, because I have something on the the to do. Yeah, and Mark, both you and Ion prodded me to give the lesson on general habitual living, yeah, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
But let's start more fundamental than that, because
Okay.
if you think of the water, I mean, obviously, we start from the beginning, right? If you get, I don't know where my strips are at the moment. If you get some copper, do you recall if this was positive or negative? Yeah, if you reverse the leads on the multimeter, it will show upside down. You see, or backwards.
Yeah. You get a minus. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Anyway, just a piece of copper. Is it going to light a light bulb?
No.
Just sitting there,
Not by
right? Or an
itself.
LED. Yeah, not by itself. Yeah, if I put a piece of zinc there, it's not going to light a light bulb either, is it? Right. Three forces. We've said this about the law of three. This is one of the fundamental knowing or ideas, concepts of the law of three, is that the three things have to be together at the same time in the same place for something to manifest. Now, if you take degassed and distilled, purified, just H2O, right? Nothing, no minerals or anything else, or gases in it whatsoever. Is it going to conduct?
No.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's an insulator, right? So that already says something about the nature of the neutral vector. The water might be a medium for something, but nothing can take place unless there's a particular polarity within it. And you can use an acid or a base. Yeah? I mean, try baking soda, try vinegar, and you'll see that you can get current flow when that situation is present. So what does that tell you about the neutral vector? For me, it tells me it's not so neutral. Now, what happens if you put oil?
That's a great insulator.
Yeah, it's a good insulator. Nothing happens, right?
Right.
They sit there in potential, don't they?
Right. Right.
All the electrons can't move. They want to move, but they can't. What does this tell you about the neutral vector? Keep going with this neutral vector thing, because it's often been said in the work that this is the part that's hardest to see. I think it's only hardest to see because it's misunderstood. This interaction that Mark and I just engaged in was a living example of the law of three at work. He began by talking about the loaded vector, right? And do you remember what I said? I said, what do you mean by loaded vector? Yeah. So let's analyze this from the law of three standpoint. Here's Mark in the positive vector, trying to get some information across. Yeah. Here's me in the negative vector. I'm receptive. I'm listening. I'm trying to understand what Mark says. Now, neutral vector, if I have some sort of polarity in it, whether it be positive or negative, then I am able to actually neutralize it, right? We're able to complete the triangle, but I didn't. Okay. I mean, technically I do. I do know what a loaded vector is, right? But I used it as an example. What's a loaded vector? In other words, my neutral in this, I wasn't able to neutralize what he was talking about. Yeah, I wasn't able to complete a triangle out of it, make it something useful for my life. So what happened? Yeah, in other words, I didn't have any vinegar or baking soda. Yeah, in my neutral vector, it was just oil, or it was just a degassed, purified water. You see, nothing in there to help it. And so I went positive. I said, "Hold on, what do you mean?" That put Mark in the receptive aspect, to where he had to go, first of all, understand what part of that I likely didn't understand, dig into his resources inside, and he found something in his neutral vector that was, in this case, an example. Yeah, in a particular meeting, something is said, that sort of thing. And so he thinks Pierce will probably understand this. Yeah, so he found some charge, positive or negative, in there, went back into positive. I went negative. And now that I have the reference, I'm able to neutralize it. I'm able to when I say neutralize it, I don't mean null and void. I mean current is now flowing. The LED is lit. You see, this is what people don't understand about the neutral vector. They think it's just quashing, yeah, this kind of thing. What it really is it's the result, or the mediator, or the outcome of something. You see, and now I can take that, and now I have a bit of a charge in my neutral vector about what Mark means about a loaded vector in something, and I can do something with it in my life.